Hello there. So, yeah, you see this headline? This is what I saw. And I decided I'm going to make a video about this because I didn't believe it. I was like, you know how when you're scrolling through the internet and these crazy things pop up with these crazy allegations about like an actor or an actress, or sometimes they even say somebody died, and like you click on it, it's just like a total troll link. Like they're just trying to hook you into something, or then you get a virus alert on your phone. Yeah, that's what I thought this article was. I mean, when you read it, right? First of all, I just have to say this. I just have to say this. If you're over the age of 5, I don't think the word poop is a word. I don't even like to say it. I just said it because I wanted to explain that I hate it. I hate the word after you're 5. I feel like it's a word that you use for children. I would just say police chief shit by desks, but I understand some people don't like to use crude language. So you could say police chief had bowel movement by desks. At least then you sound like a full blown adult and not like a 4-year old. So I just had to start off with that. But regardless, yes, this is a real thing. I looked it up. And apparently, this all came out recently in a court filing because this police chief is being sued. What a shock. So let's take a look at this guy and we'll read this article. I couldn't stop laughing when I was reading it earlier because once I realized it was real, I was like, this is so fucked. All right, here, let's find him. Here he is. A police chief in Hudson County is being accused of assaulting and harassing his officers in a lengthy list of complaints that include defecating on floors, exposing himself, attempting to drug coworkers, and sticking sorry, this isn't funny, but it's so outrageous, and sticking a hypodermic needle into an officer's penis. Chief Robert Farley, who was appointed chief of the North Bergen Police Department in February 2024. Man, he did not last long, did he? He just did not last long. Is also accused of retaliating against an officer who attempted to report him to the New Jersey Attorney General, according to court documents. We thought Canton was bad, guys. 5 police officers in North Bergen said they plan to sue over Farley's alleged behavior. You don't say, which includes claims of retaliation, discrimination, sexual misconduct, and harassment. In an email on Wednesday, a township spokesperson called the claims false and outrageous. The township of North Bergen has full confidence in Chief Robert Farley's leadership. Well, have you seen these pictures, guys? Because I don't know how much confidence you're going to have after this. The spokesperson added that township officials have referred the officers' complaints to the Hudson County Prosecutor's Office to avoid a conflict of interest. Well, they're better than Michael Morrissey, right? The list of complaints ranges from a pattern of ongoing pranks, like hey, Leslie, just have to give you a shout out. We talked about pranks, right? And how they can get really out of hand and dangerous. Well, let's just listen to what this guy's doing, okay? The list of complaints. This is a police chief, by the way, who's doing this to his fellow officers. The list of complaints ranges from a pattern of ongoing pranks. Okay, like putting ink on door handles, setting off car alarms, leaving crumbs on cops' desks, to much more serious allegations of using racial slurs, spiking the office coffee pot with Viagra and Adderall, and sending sex toys to an officer's home. I've never seen anything like this in my life. I'm sorry. This is when I thought it was a joke. I was reading this and like halfway through, I just had to go check. And once I found out it was real, I'm like, I have got to tell people about this shit. He says, I've never seen anything like this in my life. Patrick Toscano, the attorney who filed the claims on behalf of the police officers. The officers say Farley's toxic and abusive behavior had been ongoing since soon after he became chief. He has been with the department for 26 years, and both his father and grandfather served as deputy chiefs. I hope that these people are not witnessing this. Some of the officers say they've reported Farley to the Attorney General's office, okay, and that a state investigation is underway. But, of course, Attorney General didn't respond to the request for comment. Farley this man earns $228,000, guys. This dude right here who shits on the floor, okay, who put a hypodermic needle in one of his fellow officers' penises, and it's ridiculous. This guy earns 228,000 a year, okay, 228,000. Um, He said when he was sworn in, I will strive to lead the officers of our department to be an accessible component of our community while maintaining their competency, transparency, and professionalism. Yeah, okay, motherfucker. I don't think that's true. But some officers in the 123 member department beg to differ. Michael Darren, 59, worked as a special captain with administrative duties assigned to Farley's office in 2023. Darren and Farley had been friends and traveled with other high-ranking officers, Masons, Satanists, I don't know, your choice, to St. Bart's in the Caribbean. In August 2024, however, Farley's attitude toward Darren changed. Farley chases me around his office. After cornering me in the filing area with no further room for retreat, he sticks a hypodermic needle through my jeans into the tip of my penis. Okay, let's just take a second here. Okay, this is happening in my state. This motherfucker lives in my state. He is a police chief. And here is a former friend who now is under him as an officer being chased around by this man right here, cornered to the point where he can't move, and sticks a hypodermic needle into the tip of his penis. Now, the tip of his penis, I don't know if he's talking about the urethra or what part of the tip. I mean, that's some skill this guy's got. But this guy he's a masochist, or a sadist, I should say. He's a sadist, and he's evil. Like right off the bat, evil and sadistic. And look at the officers. These are fellow police officers who had to put up with this shit for how long? And we think that regular citizens are going to get a fair shake. I mean, this is crazy. Darren wrote the needle drew blood and that he was further humiliated when he had to explain the injury to his wife. Oh, that woman was like, excuse me, I need to talk to this. Oh, hell no. I can't even imagine. This is horrible. When another officer I feel like this might not have gotten as much press because it's men. Because if he was doing this to women, all hell would have broke loose. I'm not saying it's no different, right? No matter who he's harming and the degree of the harm, it'll come back on this guy. He'll get his karma. But it's just the politics, the current political, propaganda is to pit men and women against each other. We can't like each other. And they've succeeded pretty well because the birth rate's down and kids don't know how to, date or get married or any of that stuff anymore, it seems. So, and so I don't believe in like that neo-feministic point of view. It's just not it's false. So that's why I don't believe in it. It's false. Sorry, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. Okay, so Darren wrote the needle drew blood. This is horrific. From this point on, the chief creates a hostile work environment. The chief would shave his body hair on people's property, their persons, and their food. He was also fond of scraping fluids from his underwear onto people seated in the chief's office. This guy, I honestly am shocked that this man is breathing. Seriously. All right, look at this. The shaving, look at this. Here's a picture. Chief Farley shaving himself. This is a Detective Corbisiero. Okay. And here's the captain right here. And he's shaving his hair. Just like half naked, shaving his hair on this guy's stable. And this guy has a gun, by the way, and he's the chief of police of North Bergen County, New Jersey. So yeah, this makes me feel really safe. Like I need to go talk and introduce myself to the police officers in my town because this is fucking crazy. Darren claims he was no way. It claims he was. I'm sorry. The way this is worded is kind of messed up. I'm sorry. Darren claims he was on his way to report Farley to the Attorney General office when a captain called him to fire him. Holy shit. Drugs in the coffee pot, feces on the floor. Oh my God. Sounds like a lyric to a song. Oh, what band is that? What do we do tomorrow? Bugs in the kitchen, whiskey in the sink. Oh, I can't think of it. Anyway, 4 other officers filed allegations against Farley. They each detailed various complaints of harassment, sexual misconduct, discrimination, and retaliation. Darren witnessed Farley dump a handful of Viagra and Adderall into a coffee pot, stirring the pills until they dissolved and then waiting for someone to drink a cup. Well, Darren, if you were standing there and you saw that, I just have to say this, Darren, and I do feel bad for the shit you've been through, but if you saw him do that and you saw someone come in and take a cup, you're just as complicit there. And I get it. You were afraid and you were in fear of your life. But this is an important case because we have a group of officers here that were working under a very hostile, clearly hostile environment. And they're afraid, right? And it took them this long. It sounds like about almost a year of abuse. And it's documented, right? It's documented. I'll show you some more pictures. They're not very pleasant, but it took them that long to get out of this. But they got into a victim mentality very quickly. They continued to work, right? After that, Darren said he would get his coffee from a K-cup machine because he didn't feel safe it was drink from the pot anymore. Yeah, I don't feel like it would be safe to go to work anymore. I think that's where my mind would be at. Like, I'm not safe to work in this fucking place because we have a maniac in this office. Guzman claims in his notice that Farley on multiple occasions came out of the bathroom in his office, exposed himself to the others in the room, and made inappropriate comments. And several occasions pulled his pants down and defecated on the floor in front of his entire staff. Wow. So the next time you feel like you had like a bad job or you had a bully for a boss, let's just think about these men right here who had the chief of police in their town, whose dad was a chief of police, whose dad's dad was a chief of police. So you know he's a Mason, okay? And he's a cop. And it's generational. And this guy becomes chief. Before that, he was chill. Now he's the chief. It's like no holds barred. This guy's like, I'm just sliding into hell. I'm just going to slide into hell. I'm going to start right now. And he shits on the floor in front of his entire office staff. I'm sorry. I just have to say this, okay? I don't care how much pension I had. I don't care how much money I was making. I don't care about any of that. I would not sit in any fucking place where a person, let alone the alleged leader of the group, just casually walks in and takes a shit on the floor while I'm working. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Ever. He also left shit on the bathroom floor, apparently, feces, with the intent of having someone unknowingly step on it. And we have a picture. If this sort of thing makes you feel queasy, definitely avoid the screen for a few minutes. Chief Farley's defecation, and it's written on a piece of paper. Now, I have to wonder, did the chief write that on there? Did the chief write that so everyone knew it was him that left it there? Because are there other people that could have potentially left it there? That's my first question. So that it's possible, right? But it's also kind of weird, right? So then the second question is, if he didn't do it, did someone write it? Because they would have had to really get down on the floor and write it, because it's not like torn in half there. And so I'm just really perplexed about that whole part. Either way, it's completely and utterly foul. He also left his feces on the bathroom floor, apparently with the intent of having someone unknowingly He was allegedly clogging the toilet with paper and other objects. defecating in waste baskets near the desks of other officers. Oh no. Oh no, honey. No, boo boo. No, boo boo. You're not doing that. I'm not working where there's shit in a if even there's a dirty diaper, I used to take the trash out. I used to take it out. But if it was your shit that was in the trash, you'd be taking that out. You'd be taking that, or I would not be coming into work until we figured out how this unstable man can stop doing this destruction, right? Like, come on. Sex toys sent to homes, firecrackers under the desk. Guzman claims his family members were also subjected to Farley's harassment. The chief sent sex toys, intimate lotions, gay pride flags to his home. These items, which were opened by my wife and seen by my children, have caused distress. Yeah. Lieutenant says in filings that Farley became convinced Guzman had filed OPRA, an Oprah request to gain public information to use against him. Farley slandered my name in the department, using me as a scapegoat for all the discord in the department that his poor decisions created, Guzman wrote. Guzman wrote that he and his family have suffered from severe emotional. I bet. Are you kidding me? But dude, you had a choice. I hate to say it. Among some of the other incidents of harassment the officers had to endure included Farley placing hot sauce in a microwave while essentially turning the substance into a pepper spray that permeated the office. Isn't that fucking lovely? You see how these pranks can get a little crazy? Drugging coworkers? Nice. Okay. I rushed to turn off the microwave as fast as possible, but the fumes spread from the chief's office. I'm sorry, I can't. This is so psychopathic and absurd that it's like making me laugh. The fumes spread from the chief's office throughout the entire police department so badly that the fire department had to be called in, ordered to vent the building and get the scent out. He also put firecrackers under officers' chairs, once ripped a television monitor off the wall and smashed it to pieces. I guess that's the picture on the right. And because he felt too many people were visiting the office, Darren claimed. Okay. Officer Siam claims Farley and other managers retaliated against him for being a whistleblower who cooperated with an internal affairs investigation over a hostile work environment and civil rights violations. He told investigators that others in the department called him camel jockey and terrorist, and that a detective told him people of his heritage were responsible for 9/11 attacks. Okay, fuck this, right? Like, that guy can have that opinion all day long, but you don't bring it into work. You don't bring it into the office, especially when you're supposed to be, look, we know they're not working for us, okay, but they're supposed to be, right? So yeah, that's illegal, unfortunately. That's illegal for you to be saying that in your place of office. I don't agree with the opinion. I think it's just more evil. It's just more examples of evil that people have, to blame a collective for any one person's action. Officer Bowen claims in his notice, and also let's just revisit 9/11 for a second. It wasn't Osama bin Laden. It wasn't even that. It wasn't even that group, right? So, like, it just makes this guy ignorant and evil. Really, he's both for saying that. But anyway, he also claims he was placed under the direct supervision of an officer who doesn't like him, and that caused him stress. This is sad, actually. This is very sad. So this all started. Now I'm pissed. I'm not laughing anymore. This all started because this guy right here wasn't happy that a man of, I don't even know if the guy was of Arabic descent, but he was being treated that way in the office, and he was being called names, racial slurs, the things they said, the camel jockey, and people were saying it was people like you's fault for 9/11. Like, no, nobody. This guy did the right thing. He filed a formal complaint, but then unfortunately, this man right here, this piece of living garbage, this evil person, just can't handle it, I guess. He just cannot handle the fact that this man stuck up for himself. And so he started just going ballistic. He decided he's just going to shit on the floor, shit next to your desk, put a hypodermic needle in your penis. Oh, fuck no. Shave. You're just going to shave on the desk there. Scrape your bodily fluids in your office. What is this other than just pure evil? Honestly, like what else? What other name? There is no other name. The amount of harm that this man brought on those officers, and that one officer in particular, that's a lot of harm to bring onto someone. It's a lot of harm, all because you can't handle that somebody told on you for being a shithead. You couldn't handle that. So now you can act like a little kid, like a little boy, literally, like a little boy who doesn't know better yet. Only you're a grown man, allegedly. Pure evil. Pure evil. All right, well, it's still absurd. It's just so absurd. I mean, the hot sauce, dude, really? The hot sauce in the microwave? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm surprised. I'm just telling you, I'm surprised that these men who are armed, you know what it is? It's like the frog in the water. You know, when it's warm, it feels good. And they just slowly turn that temperature up ever so slowly to the point where it's about to boil, and you have that split second you could live, but it's boiling now, too late. I think that's, that's what abusers do, right? They take their time. They take their time and they ease into it, breaking barriers. I don't know how you break a barrier of literally leaving your shit on the floor, right? I don't know how you do that. These other things are just, again, they're it's like a child, you know, who doesn't know better yet, who's being taught. Although I think we all at some point learn, probably by like 6 or 7 at least. We know what's right, we know what's wrong. This is inherently evil, and clearly it can be dangerous, right? So yeah, so like I don't know how you get to this level in 1 year. I mean, that's quick. This right here, oh, this is shocking. I think it's shocking because they're fellow police officers and they're all like kind of, you know what? It's not shocking. What am I thinking about? What am I talking about? There were cops there that were going to hold this guy's, there were cops in that department, most likely, that were going to take this guy right here, Chief Farley's side on this, right? But thank God, like somebody like got a lawyer to sue this guy. They have proof, so it's not like, what's he gonna say? I missed the toilet seat. That's not gonna work, bro. That's not gonna work. This kind of violence in the workplace, like there's no excuse for that. You don't have any excuse for that. No, it's not gonna, I just can't believe it got to that level. Like it literally got to that level. I would not go to my job. Who would continue to go to their job because they were like, I got to pay the bills and stuff? Who would do that? No, there's a certain level of dignity that everyone deserves just by being a human being. And you don't want to be around somebody who is so disgusting and evil and barbaric, like someone like this, who thinks that you know it's okay to behave this way around other human beings because you're in charge, right? Wow. That's just wow. All right. Well, that's all I got for now. I am going to follow this though. I'm going to keep following this because this is ridiculous. This came out March 28th, 2025, and it was in the New York Post. So I mean, maybe a lot of people saw it. I just didn't hear about it, and I think it's crazy town. All right. Well, thanks for listening, guys. Peace out.